Shalom, WJC family. It's time once again for our weekly Torah talk. This week's parsha is Behaalotcha from the book of Bamidbar. And I want to use it as an opportunity to talk about our daily Minyan, which we started again this Thursday morning. And it was so beautiful to be in the chapel, and I wanted to reflect a little bit about what made it so special and how it's connected to this Torah portion. So when we went on a Thursday morning, as we do, to take the Torah from the ark, we said, Vayhi bin so Aaron vayomer Moshe, Kumar Adonai v'yafutu oivecha v'yanusu misanecha mipanecha, which on Shabbat you might be more familiar with. It's Vayhi bin so Aaron vayomer Moshe, Kumar Adonai v'yafutu, right? And when we went to put the Torah back in the ark, we said, Uvnucha Yomar, Shuv Adonai Revavot Alfei Yisrael. A paragraph that ends with the more famous Eitz Chaim Chi. But when this Vayhi bin so Aaron, when we took the Torah out, we said, when the ark was to set out, Moses would say, advance, O Lord, may your enemies be scattered, and may your foes flee before you. In other words, as the camp was getting ready to move, they'd take out the ark, and the ark would march in front of them, and Moses would say, advance, O Lord, that God was going out in front of them to clear the path of obstacles. And when they would settle down to camp again, he would say, Uvnucha Yomar. Then when they halted, he would say, return, O Lord, you who are Israel's myriads of thousands. Right? So he basically rest upon the myriads of the people Israel. And we say those same things today. We take the ark out, we say, advance, O Lord. We put it away, we say, okay, rest now with us, O Lord. And I couldn't help but feel a connection to these words as we were saying them this morning, on Thursday morning. It was, there was just this sense, as having been exiled from our chapel for 3 months, having it been months when almost no Jews in the world were saying these words. And a couple of weeks ago, the Israelis started again, and now we get to start again. But it was a long time, a really long time. And during that time, we were dealing with so much in the world, with this pandemic, more recently with the civil unrest caused by the killing of George Floyd, and justifiable, but still very disconcerting on so many levels. And look, we still have to deal with this pandemic, right? We still have to manage it. It's not gone, but there's this sense that while we've been in exile, while we've been marching against coronavirus and marching for racial justice, God has been out before us, scattering our enemies, protecting us, or at least we've prayed for that to be the case. And these things there's still a lot of work to be done for racial justice and equality. And there's still a lot of work to be done for this pandemic. And when we get together for the Minyan, we are so careful. The seats are all 6 or more feet apart. We're all wearing masks because the pandemic is still present, but it's calmer now, as evidenced by the fact that we could come back to the chapel. And there was this sense, as we came back to the chapel to pray, that Uvnucha Yomar said, God, come and settle down upon us. And as we sang together, those who were in the chapel and those who were zoomed in, who, because we were in the chapel, could hear these words and sing along for the first time in months, there was this connection between us. And dare I say, this sense that the Shekhinah was settling upon us. And it was beautiful. And much to my surprise, I got choked up. I actually was going through, and I got to the Chatzi Kaddish, and I got a frog in my throat and tears in my eyes, because I could feel it. Not just that I missed being in that place with those people singing those songs, but I missed that sense of connection through Torah to each other, those who were present physically, those who were present virtually, and those who for one reason or another couldn't be present. To all those everywhere who are back restarting Minyanim and saying the prayers again also. And indeed to God, the Shekhinah, who we were calling down with our prayers to be upon us and to rest with us, as we try and find some rest and some peace in the madness of the last several weeks and the last several months. I pray that we all have that sense of God's presence as Shabbat comes, that we all find that sense of peace, that we all find our way to tap into those songs that are deep in our souls and deep in our hearts, and that bring us that sense of connection. Wish you a Shabbat Shalom.